Hi friend, it's Pat Sloan here on Tackle It Tuesday. Plus I have the second part of Make a Wish. Make a Wish this year is in two parts. We've already gotten the first part and I have the second part that I filmed when I made it because I am sending mine to the Fat Quarter Shop to be raffled to make more funds, and so mine all had to be done a little bit earlier, so I'll actually show you the finished one as well. Mine is all quilted and ready to be shipped right after I film this video pretty much. Okay, so first of all I need to tell you a clarification on the Q&A I did. What was it? Thursday, I think, just the last video. I talked about, like, I don't sew for fun. People like, how do you sew for fun or something? It's like, I don't really sew for fun. And I just wanted to clarify that because I realized it bugged me that I said it that way afterwards. Maybe a lot of you understand, but some of you, maybe you're new. And it's just like, anything I'm sewing right now is all for doing the videos. I don't really have projects that I sew on the side or anything that I don't show you. Pretty much I do it, and this is what my whole channel is about, is being a regular quilter. So they are fun to do, but it isn't like I have a separate sewing thing that you don't know about. I don't work like that. So if I'm not sewing, I'm playing my video games. The things I do for camera and for all of you is my fun sewing. But when I'm not doing that, other hobbies I have are playing the video games, gardening, taking walks. We used to do some travel for work. We've not really done a whole lot for fun travel, so someday we want to do some fun travel. And we spent 20 years on the road, so we needed a really long break to recover from that. That was a lot of time on the road. So anyway, when I say fun, everything I do here is fun. I'm not going to sew anything for you for the video that isn't enjoyable and isn't fun. But I don't have secret projects anywhere. So that's, even my cross stitch. I show you the cross stitch, show you what I'm doing. Speaking of that, let's segue right to the cross stitch before we go to Make a Wish. I picked totally different fabric for the Oh Lucky Day. Let me show you. I decided to look at this one from the other three options, and I had them sitting here for several days. I looked at all, of course, everybody, I could probably split it between the three options for all of you from the other three. But I decided that that's not it. I can look around. So I went and got these fabrics here. And I did put just the plaid. So I was thinking, since this is small, it doesn't need an inner border. That might be overkill. But the problem is that's more the yellow green. That's always the problem here. This turns out this more blue green. So I thought, okay, not that one. This is also not bad. That's not bad. And here's another one just to try it. And then I started playing with these two over here because, again, this one had some blue in it. And so this is a stripe, a little, kind of blendy stripe. And I thought, what about this? Because the scale of this here, and there's a problem because they're straight. So that means I have to be careful cutting it because I really don't want them, shifted like out like that or anything. So I'll be careful cutting it. And it's not a very wide border, but that's okay. But I thought that might be interesting to put, because it's the same kind of colorations with some blue in it. See, got the blue, but the scale is totally different. This is, lumped up together and scattery. This is structured. So that appeals to me to have two different ones. And I would bind in this just because I think for these small pieces, I think I've said this before, I just prefer the binding to be the same because it makes it too choppy, I think, if I do on a small piece another color for the border. So I think I'm going to go with that. While I'm over here, I put the Christmas kitty in here, the cross stitch, and since I put it in here, I haven't worked on it one little stitch. So today I will take it out. This is the guy. Oh God, this is the cross stitch. Come on. Here we go. This one that my friend Wendy Shepherd and I are doing together. So I need to unload it all. I put it in here because I was going to take it somewhere, and that's all fine and dandy until you realize, for me, if I put it away, I just do not work on it. So out it comes. There we go. This bag will go back with the storage bags, and I am here on the design. So pretty good, right? I love it. So sweet. So I'm missing stitching, and now here it is. I forgot. I was going to start the top of the dress. Nice. Okay, so if you have something that you've bagged up and realize that was a mistake, get it out. And here it is. So I am super happy with this. Now it is bigger than I was thinking it would be, because you can see here's the original one. So they end up being about the same size. So I'm thinking to make it 3 pieces, and maybe finding a little shamrock to do sometime during the winter so that I have it done by March. So I have this. I have my 100 blocks up there. This might be it. This is from the book, the 100 Modern Quilt Blocks that Tula Pink wrote, and people wanted to do it, and I thought, oh yeah, that sounds like fun. They're not hard blocks, but I am just having a massive difficulty fitting that in my life right now this year, and so I think I will just do those. That might be it. It is, I put a note up there, it is like 40 by 52, which fits in my hallway that goes up the stairs. And so I think that will be it. That will be it. So I will be working to wrap this up in the near future. Hopefully not putting it off too much, but I might not address it anymore this month. Maybe it'll be in the fall that I might come back to this. So yeah, don't be looking for it in the very near future. Okay, also the Liberty box, I got mine. I have not peeked. I did not ask for a sneak peek. I have no idea what's in here, but it is chock full. It is heavy, and they still have them. So it's a mystery. Their Liberty mysteries are always really good. So if you are looking for one, I have the description. I have it in the description box, the link, and the pinned post. All right, let's take a look at Make-A-Wish part number 2. As you know, that came out Friday with the Fat Quarter Shop, and so if you are just following their stuff, you've already downloaded part 2, but let's take a look at mine with Tiny Secrets. Make-A-Wish part number 2. There is part number 1. I'm making mine with Tiny Secrets, and the next round will be one of the darker reds. Here it is, and then the round after that will be the pink. I am curious, before I start cutting mine, we have the pattern. Do you end up cutting all the stuff for one round and then the other round on a piece this size? Remember, this is like 52 by 52, I think, finished. Or will you go and cut all of the things now and keep track of it and kind of work all the way through it? I'm just curious, because if we don't have the space to kind of work all the way through it, then you could cut just the things for the next round and sew them. And then if for some reason you have to put your stuff away or whatever, you don't have stacks of things to keep track of. But I know a lot of people like to do all their cutting first. Now remember, this was released a few days ago, which I don't do a video on that day, and Kimberly at the Fat Quarter Shop will have it on her video, so if you need to go watch all the steps for making this, you'll be able to see it over at her site, the Fat Quarter Shop site. So I am going to approach it because I am making it all the way through. I have to make it, and then my long armor is going to quilt it for me so that I can get it ready to ship to the Fat Quarter Shop so that they can do photos and have it for the raffle that they do for Make-A-Wish. So I will go ahead and cut everything. So I'm going to lay it out. I'll cut it. I'll show you all the pieces cut. So this is exciting. Now I am working from my own yardage. This is, Tiny Secret. So I have like a lot of yardage. I usually don't go and cut a smaller piece off. I just sort of deal with the bulk of, this is 5 yards to begin with, so whatever I've already cut off of it, but I kind of just deal with the bulk of it, and I have it nicely kind of folded. It's not easy to work with yardage when you're just trying to cut strips, but I find that I'd rather have that than cut off a bunch and then have these odd leftover strips that don't work for anything. That's, you know, I get frugal, so I don't want to do that. Okay, so we've got background, we've got some great big squares for the background. I'm using my white on white right here. Don't know if you can see that. I got a reflection from the sliding door because of course the sun has come out. But barreling in the sliding door, which is gorgeous. It's all squares. So this is all big squares. The smallest square is 1 6-inch square, which I believe is probably this one right up here. There's two. There's 3 6-inch squares. So these guys out here, these outer ones, are the 6-inch squares. Everything else is bigger than that. So I do use a 12.5-inch square. I have a bigger one. I have the 20.5-inch square, but I don't need that for this because the biggest square is 10.5. So this square will do it for you. If you have never gone ahead and bought a 12.5-inch square, it is massively useful. You will use it a lot. You can also just square up blocks. You know, when your 12.5-inch block is done, you can put this and be sure you're square. And you don't have, if the block isn't too big or way too small, you can use this for that as well. So I just wanted to show you that is my preferred size square. Let me get everything cut and I will show it to you laid out. If you do think that you might get, you know, distracted from the project for a while and have to get back to it, I do like to use the Fat Quarter Shop's Kimberly's little tags that have the letters, and of course this is their pattern, so they always have the alphabets and then into numbers, and they actually have double-digit ones like AABB ones that you can get. But this is great. So I went ahead and opened, got my pack out. I have several packs. I got one pack out so that I can go ahead and mark each of these just to show you how that looks. There's lots of ways to keep your pattern vertical. There's book things, there's all kinds of stuff. But we got this recently in the Sew Sampler, this little guy here. And what I like is it doesn't take up much space to store this thing. It's nicely weighted. And so I keep it in that spinner in there so that it's nice and handy. And I'll use that. Just like for you, sometimes the project can't be done all in one day. So I'm on day 2, and I will probably have a day 3 of, you'll see me in another shirt during this thing. So I did get them all cut out. And I use a Wonder Clip to clip the little tags, the alphabet-y tags onto here. I really like that concept because it just gives me something of some substance to hold on to. It keeps everything together nicely. I really like it. There's lots of ways that you can mark things, and there's, you know, all kinds of things out there. But this is how I do it, and I'm all ready to sew. It's a lot easier for me to take the squares, these squares, and just lay them out because each row gets bigger. You know, like just like you did here, they're bigger size. Like that piece is actually the same spot as this piece. The whites are the same as the white on here, you know, so it's a little hard to see, but I think you get where they are. And then the very last piece is up there, which would be, you know, I forget which it is similar to, but it's a background. It ends up being it's kind of like that, but on the other end for the pink mushrooms. So now I've got that up there, and I can go ahead and sew all the half square triangles and the and get those up there. I'll just do one section at a time. If you have a design wall, it's invaluable with a project like this. I have the layout right up here so I can reference it. I've got these cornerstones, and there are sections, the squares. They're just going to be squares. There's one there. And so what I did was I built this unit here. And sometimes it's a little bit of a brain tease because the dark is on the outside because the star is white. versus like the points were pink here. You know, so you have to kind of concentrate a little bit. What I am going to do now is I am going to just sew those two sections and attach them to the center. So I will do that for the next 2 rounds as well, attach it as I go. The other thing is the next squares are much bigger. So I want to draw a line before I do my half square triangles versus using my guide beam, because it'll be a lot easier. Okay, let's go. Drawing the lines on all of these white squares for the rest of the half square triangles. This 12.5-inch ruler is too short. I don't want to have to be scooting on this large thing, so I will use my larger ruler. I'll move those blocks up there before I do it. But I'll have the larger ruler, and then I will draw the line with the one of these. You can draw it on anything because you're going to cut on that line. So, but I'm going to use one of these iron away markers. So that's what I'll use. And then just, let me change hands. Oops, I always bang it when I change hands. So I will be coming and just doing a line. I don't even have to do the whole line, but you know, just for video, because I'm looking in here. Okay, so there you go. So I've got my line. I'll be sewing 1/4 inch on either side of that, and I will mark all of them and then go to the machine. I am on day 4, I think, of working on this, and I will be done this morning because I'm seeing my friend who does my long arming this afternoon when I have sewing group. So I will be getting it done. Here are those 2 parts of the star, and I want to show you where the red gingham goes, but let me switch it around. These can be a bit of a mind bender because they're just not as we think of them. It's just a little bit different structure, so be sure you just follow the diagram. That's why I have the diagram up here. You can see the slash goes this way and my slash goes that way, and then I will put the other one down there, and it is this direction, so that it gives that angle across the diagonal of the quilt. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that diagonal line across the quilt. Same with this one. You have the diagonal line across the quilt. So that's what you're looking for. Before I sew it together, the middle is done from this part down. And remember now, when you're laying the outer part, it's the white that goes in, the color goes to the outside. So that should help you out a bit. And you have pairs in the middle for, you know, those two to go together like that to make the star. So I'd like to put it up here. The design wall is invaluable so that I can check everything and be sure that it's correct. Yes, looks fantastic. Okay, sewing it up. All of the top is done. There it is. I believe it's 52 by 52. That looks so good. It does not have a little outer rim, so what I'll do is go on the machine and stay stitch. Just do a straight stitch on all of the intersections so that when it goes on the long arm, which pulls it, you know, tighter, that there won't be any chance of those intersections popping, and then my long armer would have to take it off and fix it. It's like no fun. And this is what I'm going to use for the backing from my Tiny Secrets. Look at that. Perfect, right? All right. I've got to sew that backing, and then I have to have lunch and get ready to go to my sewing group. Where I'll take this to my friend so she can quilt it for me. Okay. Whew. Lots and lots of fun. Okay. I am going to show you. Let me get it. I have it here. Move this. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. And it will be going out in the mail. Here we are. Where can I stand? Can I do it here? Can you see it? I'll hold it way up. Ta-da! And I'll do some pictures outside, and you'll get to see it. What is it? Like I can't stand. Where do I have to stand? Hold on. Here you go. The reds and pinks from my Tiny Secrets line. Look how sweet that is. It's crooked on there. Maybe you can't see that because it's kind of angled, but it is. I hung it up crooked. That's okay. So let me show you the quilting on it. Look how pretty this quilting is. It's like a teardrop, and there's 3 levels of it, a circle in the middle, and then these other tiny little teardrops on the side. So pretty. And my friend quilted this for me for charity. So my friend Karen did this, and she donated her time doing this also for Make-A-Wish. Okay, now that I'm standing up, I will just go ahead and end, because we have very full day. And so to tackle a Tuesday, let me know where you are with the 100 blocks. Are you going to keep working on them? Are you going to wrap it up like I am? What are you going to do? And also, I want to give a big shout out to the best guy in the entire world, my husband, Greg Sloan. It is his birthday today. And so if you want to leave a comment here at YouTube for him, that would just be so awesome. He is the best, the very best. So, mwah. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.